Hello, my name is Vanessa Kühn and I work as a product manager for emergency and transport ventilation here at WEINMANN Emergency in Hamburg, Germany. And today I would like to introduce you into our emergency ventilator MEDUMAT Standart A. Okay, so now I will show you the outside of the device. We have on the left-hand side the connection for the gas supply. So this device only works with oxygen, is pneumatically driven, and it needs oxygen to work. On the right-hand side, we have the connection for the pressure hose and the ventilation hose. This is the bigger one. And here we have the gas inlet for the air mix function. So here the device sucks in air. It has a dust filter inside so that no dust particles can come into the device. Now I come to the front side of the device. This is our main operation panel. We have the on and off button here. When you turn off the device, make sure that you press it for at least 2 to 3 seconds, otherwise it will not turn itself off. We have here our rotary knobs where we set the ventilation parameters for the patient. For this we have here a little color coding which guides a little bit for the optimal settings for small children and adults. So now I will set here a ventilation for an adult. I set the ventilation frequency here to 10, for example. And I will set the minute volume here to 5, and this makes a tidal volume of 500 milliliters per breath. On the knob with the gray scale, this is my maximum ventilation pressure, which can be set from 20 to 60 millibar. I will set it to 40, for example. So here the device will stop an inspiration as soon as this maximum pressure is reached. The ventilation pressure is always visible on the manometer. So on the manometer you can see if the patient is ventilated or not. So in the inspiration you have the pressure which is rising, and in the expiration the pressure is going low. Here you have the red kind of scale which shows very high ventilation pressures. So in that case you might want to reduce the volume or the maximum ventilation pressure. On the upper side we have our alarm panel. So the device has 4 high prioritized alarms. First one is stenosis. So stenosis is an occlusion either in the ventilation hose or in the tube of the patient. So somewhere in the system a disconnection explains itself. So if there's a disconnection between the tube and the patient hose, for example. We have the low oxygen supply alarm in case the oxygen bottle is emptied. And we have the low battery alarm. So the device has an internal battery which is non-rechargeable but doesn't need to be changed by the operator. So it's changed every 2 years in the regular maintenance and should last under normal ventilation for this 2 years. We have one medium prioritized alarm, which is the no assist function. I will come to that in a second. And we have here the alarm mute button. Then we have here our air mix and no air mix function. So now I have set the switch to no air mix, which means 100% oxygen. I can also switch it to air mix, which means the device is sucking air in from the side here. This is an oxygen concentration of 60 to 70%. Here we have the assist function. This is a special function in the MEDUMAT Standart A, and this is also where the A comes from. So if I set here my volume and my frequency, this is a pure volume controlled ventilation, and I can add the assist function. This means out of this IPPV volume control mode will become an SIMV mode, where the patient can trigger the next ventilatory breath in a trigger window, in a certain trigger window. If there is no triggering from the patient, you will get a no assist alarm. So this is where you can see, okay, there's no ventilation or breathing actions from the patient. Yeah, so this was the MEDUMAT Standart A really quickly, and basically this is the device. So just 3 knobs to set, and this air mix, no air mix function, and the assist function. Now I will show you how to connect the pressure hose and the ventilation hose to the device. So for this I have here my pressure supply hose, and I will just screw the hose to the left hand side of the device. Just tighten it up by hand. Please don't use tools for this, otherwise the connection can break. And now I will connect my ventilation hose. I have it here. This is a single use hose system. First I'm connecting the pressure measurement hose, and then the bigger ventilation hose. Come on. Okay, make sure to really tighten it. This is our patient valve. So ventilation, inspiration goes through that hose, through the patient valve to the patient in this direction, and expiration goes here from the patient out of the expiratory valve. On the expiratory valve you have also the possibility to connect a PEEP valve to set a PEEP in the volume controlled ventilation. This is our spontaneous breathing limb, so the patient always has the possibility to breathe spontaneously also in controlled ventilation. Now I will show you how to do a function check on the device. Always perform a function check before ventilation and after every reprocessing if you use, for example, a reusable ventilation hose system. So for this I will connect the blue test bag to the patient valve and to the patient side. And first I will check my oxygen supply. So for this I will turn on my oxygen bottle or open my oxygen bottle, and I can hear if there's any leakages in the system. This is not the case, and I will look at the manometer of the oxygen bottle to see if the pressure is stable for 1 minute. Okay, this is the case in this. Okay, so now that I've checked the gas supply and connected the test bag, I will check my ventilation frequency. For this, I will set the frequency to 8 and also the minute volume to 8. If you ask yourself if I know everything by heart, no, I don't know it by heart. I have my little leaflet here for the function check, which is also in the supply schedule of the device. And of course, this is also described in the instructions for use. So, set everything to 8, put the pressure to 60, and then start ventilation. And now I will set my little watch to 1 minute and count the ventilation frequency. And if there is 7 to 9 breaths per minute, the ventilation frequency is correct and the test is positive. This is the case, so I will check my second ventilation frequency. For this I will set the frequency to 40 and leave the minute volume like this, and also count the frequency for 1 minute again. And here the frequency needs to be in the range of 38 to 42 breaths per minute. Now that I've checked the ventilation frequency, I will check the volume. For this I can leave the settings, I will set back the ventilation frequency to 8 and leave also the minute volume to 8, and here the 60. And I will switch to no air mix. So in this case, we need to see a complete inflation of the test bag. This is the case, so the test bag is filling completely. You can ignore the alarm in this case. Just the test bag needs to fill completely. So this is the case. I will go to the next test. I will disconnect the test bag and close the patient valve by hand. Set the frequency to 30. The minute volume to 3. And I need to hear a stenosis alarm, which obviously I am hearing, and it's also visible via the LEDs. So this is how I close the patient valve. So going on to the next test, I'm reconnecting the test bag. And now I will check the assist function. I will set the frequency again to 8. And also the minute volume to 8. And I will switch back to air mix and switch on the assist button. So you see here now the LED is lighting up. And after 2 breaths of no patient assistance or patient breathing, I need to see the yellow no assist alarm, which is the case also here. After 1 minute, I will also hear an acoustic alarm. Now we hear the acoustic alarm. So this test is also okay. Now I will try to simulate an assisted breath. And you see here now the no assist alarm went away. So my test of the assist function can stop now. So this is finished and I will go to the next test. So the next test is the check of the maximum ventilation pressure. For this I set the frequency to 8. This is already set to 8. The minute volume to 7. And the maximum ventilation pressure to 20 millibars. And I go to no air mix. And here we should see a switch from inspiration to expiration between 15 and 25 millibar. So you see here this goes up to 22, so this is also okay. And now I'll set my second pressure level. I'm also hearing the stenosis alarm, which needs to be there. So checking the second pressure level, I will set my maximum pressure to 60 and I will change the minute volume to 9 liters per minute. And I need to see that the inspiration is switching to expiration between 55 and 65 millibars, which is here also the case. So this goes up to 63, I would say. And we also see again the stenosis alarm, which also needs to be there in this case. I am not supporting expiration, so that the alarm is coming. Okay, now I will check the alarm system of the device. This is the last check of the function check. For this, I will disconnect my test bag, turn on the device, leave the settings as they are, and hold tight the patient valve. And I should hear and see a stenosis alarm after 2 breaths, which was also the case. Now I'm checking the disconnection alarm. So I will leave the patient valve open. And after 2 breaths, 1, 2, I will see my disconnection alarm. So this test is also